So we are less than 30 minutes away from the start of the playoffs in Jamaica's top flight football competition, the Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League, with the first two-leg quarterfinal matches set for Sabina Park. In the opening encounter set to begin at 6 o'clock, 7 Eastern Caribbean time. Five-time champions Tivoli Gardens will take on four-time winners Montego Bay United. Then at 8:30 p.m. local time, 9:30 in the Eastern Caribbean, Portmore United, the country's most successful outfit with 7 titles, will face the reigning champions Cavalier. Leger Williams is at Sabina Park. Let's join him now for a synopsis of what to expect tonight.
It's a Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League playoffs. We're here at Sabina Park, and as you can see, anticipation is high. It's building. I personally cannot wait for these matchups. The quarterfinals are about to begin in only a matter of moments, really. And the bracket itself is looking oh so tasty as well. On one side of the bracket, we have Tivoli Gardens. They'll be taking on Montego Bay United. And the winner of that, of course, will go on to take the first place team from the regular season, Mount Pleasant. And on the other side, the second game today, we'll see Portmore United take on Cavalier. And they will go on to face the second place team from the regular season, Arnett Gardens. Earlier, I spoke to both coaches, and as per usual, Jerome Waite and Paul Teagat Davis had a lot to say.
You know, we have a little bit injury here and there, but I think it cannot be rough for us because then and then we can get to see more players, you know. So not going to crunch time, the injuries are getting a little much better, you know, so I expect, you know, a lot from them onward.
And speaking to Jerome Waite, I said that he's a coach that has been here and done that, won titles. You too have won titles. How do you feel that this Montego Bay United team stacks up against teams of old, and can they do it again?
You know, yeah, man. I think we don't know. We have to do it in training since week. So no for us come and execute. The guys are ready and prepared to play some good football tonight.
Speaks volume. It basically means this Tivoli team is up and ready.
And Lennox Russell unfortunately received a red card in the last game. Unable to play today. What change have you made to compensate for that?
Well, we have other youngsters that we'll be given opportunity. We just want them to go out there and deliver, seeing that he's not around for this game.
And I know you don't like to focus on one player in particular, but you have a couple of players who have scored 11 goals this season. One of them, Nikolai Fuller, he has been sterling this season.
Yes, the other one is Anthony Nelson. And those two players can always make a difference in, on any given day.
You heard from a couple of experienced coaches primed to go on and win it all. Will they? We'll have to wait and see. Let's see what happens in the Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League playoffs.
Yeah, thanks, Liz, a.k.a. Arsenal or Gunners. Ricardo, I know that you're an Arnett Gardens fan, but tonight's action looks really, really appealing. Tivoli finding form toward the back end of the season. The matchup with Montego Bay United, a huge clash. And there's a lot to look out for, too, in the Cavalier-Portmore lineup.
Yeah, I'm especially looking forward to that second encounter, Cavalier versus Portmore United. I do believe that the opening encounter might actually be more exciting, might come with more goals. But at the same time, I think because so many individuals are looking forward to a Cavalier versus Mount Pleasant final, and this is the very first step. You at least want the intrigue to go all the way to the semi-final round. I don't think you want it ended so early. Portmore United, I'm sorry. I know you're going to do your thing, and but the fans want Cavalier to get through.
Yeah.
And maybe, Lance, we'll get a Messi-like crowd at the National Stadium or at Sabina Park for the final.
I want to mention quickly about the venue, though, Ricardo, because I put it to Liz yesterday when we were previewing the matches that the Sabina Park surface is different from the National Stadium and the Catherine Hall Stadium in Montego Bay and the Arnett Gardens Stadium. The grass is lower and it's, well, Liz used the term sleek. It's a quicker surface, and I think it is conducive for goal scoring. And I quite expect quite a few goals to be scored tonight in both games because the surface just attracts that kind of quick-paced game. And maybe errors from defenders and so on. But I quite like the fact that we have some attacking football in prospect. And let's hope the better team teams win tonight, although they will have a second opportunity
Well,
to put things right if
if
they went wrong tonight.
If they have Arteta-like coaches, then the better team could lose. So
The other thing, and we've spoken about the format so many times, that Mount Pleasant were huge regular season champions, but there's no guarantee that they will win the title. In fact, the last 10 seasons, only 3 regular season champions have gone on to win the Premier League. Arnett Gardens once and Portmore twice. So more often than not, the team that ends up winning the regular season, and we see there Mount Pleasant regular season champions by 15 points. That's a huge margin. So in the scheme of things, Mount Pleasant is the best team in the league. But because of the format, they've got to do the job in the playoffs and then in the final, if they get there, to concretize that narrative.
yeah, I've been on record saying, Lance, that I'm not the biggest fan of the format, but I understand why it is the way it is, and I'm warming up more to it every single season, especially in the Jamaican context. I understand why it has to be that way and why it needs to be that way. I think because of the format, though, as well, Lance, a lot of the teams, after a particular point, they may stop chasing. So if you're, let's say, a Portmore United or a Cavalier, and you are in the position where moving up a spot might not change what's going to happen come playoff time, then you sort of, okay, let's refocus, let's reset, and let's get ready to leave it all out there come the playoffs. So you sort of do enough. I'm not going to say you zone out, but you are not as attached as you would otherwise be if you were still chasing the title at that stage of the season. So I think it makes it a little bit different as well to how some teams structure their campaigns.
Okay, so the JPL playoff action will be live on SportsMax platforms all the way to the final on the 23rd of May. SportsMax will have live coverage of both matches tonight, beginning immediately after the zone. And you can, however, see the pre-game show, which is currently, we're now looking at the correct point standings, and inadvertently shown the wrong standings earlier on Mount Pleasant. They were 93 points, on it gone 76. So you see by how far Mount Pleasant were the best team in the league based on the points they accumulated, and their goal difference 73. The next best, Arnett Gardens, with 35. So that's the regular season, but that's behind us. What we're looking at means nothing now, only to the top 6 teams, because those are the only teams left in the tournament. And you've got to do well in the playoffs to win the title. So let's go to break now. We'll be back with our interactive segment after the break.